Joining me tonight is former Florida Congressman Alan Grayson. Congressman, good to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.
Do you believe that the Bush administration deserves any credit for killing Osama bin Laden?
Well, Sarah Palin was, of course, kind enough to give him some credit for that. But I'd like to give him some credit, too. I'd like to give him some credit for introducing America to $4 a gallon gasoline. I'd like to give him credit for, in the last 18 months of his administration, wiping out 20% of our national net worth, taking us from $62 trillion, the result of 200 years plus of work by people, all the way down to $50 trillion in just 18 months. That's $40,000 out the window for every single man, woman, and child in this country. I'd like to give him credit for that. I'd like to give him credit for the 50 million Americans who he left without any sort of health coverage, people who can't see a doctor when they're sick. So let's give credit where credit is due. He is the worst president of my lifetime. For years I thought he was neck and neck with Richard Nixon, but now I'm convinced he was the absolute worst. Let's give him credit.
Congressman, about the story in the New York Daily News today, what do you think the real story is? Do you think that President Bush didn't show up and decline the invitation of President Obama because of credit?
I suspect that President Bush might have been passed out drunk the last 3 or 4 days, so I'm not sure he made any conscious decision at all.
Moving forward, why is it that Democratic presidents always have a hard time when it comes to security, and Democrats are always on the defensive, and no matter what the scenario is or how the facts are laid out to the American people, it's always the Republicans going on the offensive, even in a moment like this? Your thoughts?
I don't know. You know, Republicans seem to be good at starting wars, but they're not very good at winning them, and they're certainly not very good at ending them. It takes a Democrat to end the war, and I'm still hoping we'll see that from President Obama, ending 2 wars that the Republicans started.
And moving forward, do you think President Obama has now secured any kind of rhetoric that might be out there to debunk it right on back, that he has this thing known as national security all figured out? Has his credibility really risen as the polls show it?
Yes, he's delivered. He has delivered to the American people on this very important issue. You could see people cheering in the streets when the word got out. They were as happy as they were on VE Day or VJ Day, because that particular war is over now. The war that was needed to bring Osama bin Laden to justice, that has been accomplished. And it is odd that it happened on the same day on the calendar as George Bush told us mission accomplished years and years ago, when he hadn't accomplished much of anything at all.
Former Congressman Alan Grayson, great to have you with us tonight. Thank you for your take here on The Ed Show.